Hello and hello, welcome back to the Undisputed Champ YouTube boxing channel. If you like the videos I've already put out, hit that subscribe button and also hit that like button. Today we're talking about Errol the Truth Spence versus Danny Garcia this weekend, Texas. And where do I begin? This is a big fight, and a fight I'm shocked that Errol Spence is taking after his horrendous car accident. But I guess fair play to the dude. He's stepping up and he's not taking any warm-up fights. He's going straight back in there into the lion's den. So props to him. Tip my hat off to him. When I look back at Errol Spence's career, I remember this guy making his way through the rankings and I was like, this guy's definitely going to be a problem for anybody in the welterweight division. Big, strong welterweight. I remember hearing the stories about him in the Mayweather camp, and he was giving Mayweather a treacherous time in the ring in those spars. Like, Mayweather came out the ring, wanted to sign the guy. That's when you know you've earned Mayweather's respect. He's not talking, he's not trying to clown you. He's not saying, I'm slicker than you, I'm this and that. He's trying to sign you because he can see the talent in the guy. So, yeah, when I heard Mayweather was really interested in him, I was like, I've got to pay attention to this guy. I definitely have to pay attention. And then I pretty much seen all the Errol Spence fights from about the Phil Greco fight onwards. And they were all pretty much KOs. Like, KO'd Phil Greco, easy win. KO'd Chris Van Harden. Chris Van Harden made him work a little bit there, but he got him out of there. Alejandro Barrera, he KO'd him. Chris Algieri just moved around a bit. Errol Spence caught up to him and KO'd him. Leonard Bundu, that knockout was vicious. Vicious. I remember seeing that on the TV. I'm thinking, Errol, man, why are you doing like that, man? But then we have the Kell Brook fight. And the Kell Brook fight, that was a tough fight for Spence. A real tough fight. He came over to Sheffield, came over to the Lions Den in Sheffield. And I remember his walk-up music. There's a song that I heard, that was the first time I heard it, and then I put it on my playlist. I can't remember the title. I can't remember the title or the name of the artist, but it just talks about him trying to get to that money. It's like, I'm trying to get to that money. Hey. Anyways, he came out to that song, and I was like, yeah, Spence is about his business tonight. But Kell gave him a really tough fight. Kell was the champion, and Spence was the challenger. But Spence broke Kell down, broke his eye socket, and stole his heart because Kell packed it in and quit. So fair play to Spence for sticking it in there and getting the job done. Then he fought Lamont Peterson. Lamont Peterson took him to the decision, I think. I'm struggling to remember that fight. It doesn't really have an imprint in my memory, but fair. Carlos Ocampo was next after that. Another KO, easy work, 2-round knockout job. And then Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia was when the question marks started to ring for me. So Mikey Garcia was coming up from lightweight to welterweight, 2-division jump. Mikey Garcia was clearly the smaller guy. Spence had been doing a lot of talking before the fight, saying he's going to make a huge statement, and he boxed Mikey's ears off, but no stoppage, and Mikey didn't look hurt. So it was a weird one for me, but he did box his ears off, so I guess I have to give him the credit that he deserves there. Then the Sean Porter fight. The Sean Porter fight was his last fight last year, September, and I think Sean Porter actually edged that fight. I've watched it 4 times now, and every time I've either scored it a draw or I've scored it for Sean Porter by 1 round. So Errol got the decision, he's the champion, but it was an extremely razor-tight fight. Now, this is where it all started to go wrong. Pretty much after the Mikey fight for Errol. Errol started hanging around with a well-known boxer called Adrian Broner. Adrian the Problem Broner. When I see fighters hanging around Adrian Broner, my heart just breaks to pieces. Because there was a guy with all the talent in the world, no application to the sport. And when you start hanging around with guys like that, in any profession, they just bring you down. They suck you into what they want to do. They start to ruin your work ethic. They start to take away from the things that you do well and start to make you lazy. And then it started to show, because I heard, and it showed that Spence was having weight issues for the Sean Porter fight. He didn't look amazing in the Mikey Garcia fight. Yeah, he boxed his ears, but really he truly should have been getting the stoppage there. And after the Sean Porter fight, Errol was partying, drinking, living it up, living life. Went on a joyride and crashed his car, flipped his car about 7 times and was left face first on the concrete. Incredible that he didn't break any bones, but boy, the ER picture of Errol Spence after that car crash is horrible. I'm gonna post it up now, and I just think it's an effect of hanging around with AB. Like, Adrian Broner is a disease in boxing, and I hope if any boxer is listening to this or does listen to this, stay the hell away from Adrian Broner. Don't let that guy come around you. Don't let that guy come around your family or your group. Don't just keep him away. Terrible, terrible vibes, and I hope he hasn't destroyed Errol's career, because just picking up any habits from that guy is awful. But anyway, off Adrian Broner and back onto Spence. This is a tough fight with Danny Garcia. When I think about Danny Garcia, I think about him being an underdog in a lot of his major fights up until recently. I first heard about Danny, I'll be honest, when he fought Amir Khan, and I know he was already a champion. When he fought Khan, it was a unification, but that was the first time I heard of him, and that was the first time I got introduced to that Danny Garcia left hook. That left hook that basically took Khan's chin. That left hook that took Rod Salka's chin out, even though he was a very, very small guy. That same left hook that took out that Argentinian fighter, Lucas Matisse. That same left hook that had Adrian Granados in big trouble. Danny Garcia has excellent timing, and he's a very sure-footed fighter. He's got excellent balance and excellent timing. He's got quite slow feet, which might be a problem, because Errol's got decent feet, so it might be an issue for Danny to catch up to Errol. But putting Danny Garcia's plodding feet behind, the balance is impeccable, and he knows how to put his shots together. He can throw a few little combos. He's got an excellent left hook. He's got a good right hand, and he's a very solid fighter. Nobody's ever clowned Danny Garcia in the ring. He's lost, in my opinion, 3 times, because I think he got the rub of the green against Lamont Peterson. I really did think Lamont Peterson beat him in that fight. But he's only lost 2 times. One to Sean Porter, who I think gave Errol Spence everything he could handle, and once to Keith Thurman. So Danny Garcia is not a joke. And Errol Spence that's not 100% switched on, Danny Garcia can take the fight. And this is where I get to my pick. It's easy. It's always easy to pick the favourite in fights, and it's always easy to sit on the fence. Before I started doing this channel, I'd always make my little picks, but it would be to myself. And when you make a pick to yourself, there's no pressure, because there's no one can hold you accountable. No one can do this, no one can do that. But when you start making a pick and you start putting it out there, you start to feel a little bit of that pressure, a little bit of that heat. And it does make you a bit weary to pick against the grain, but I'm going to do it again today, and I'm going to go ahead and pick Danny Garcia. And I'm picking Danny Garcia. It's a tough one, because I don't think Spence has proven that he has a good chin. He has been wobbled and he has been dropped if you go back through the record, but he's proven to have a good chin. But I'm going to pick Danny Garcia, and I think Errol's got a lot of heart, and I don't think he's got any quit in him at all. But I don't know what that chin's going to be like anymore. After a car crash, after being laid out on the concrete with your life hanging in the balance, and this is your first fight back, I can't see it. I'm sorry, I can't see it. And you're going to need to show me a lot more than a few training clips and a bit of sparring online, Errol. You're going to have to show me a lot more than that before I can start trusting you again. So I'm going to pick Garcia. I'm going to pick Garcia by late stoppage. I'll take the points victory too, but I'm going to pick Danny Garcia by late stoppage. And Errol's got he's got a huge problem on his hands here, a huge problem. Because Danny's not going to come here and just let Errol beat him. Danny's going to come here and fight, and I don't think Errol's ready for a fight. The way he looked after that crash, I'm just not sure he's ready for a fight. So yeah, that's my pick, guys. I've still got a few more videos in the works, and I'm thinking of getting a little intro. So if anyone has any suggestions on a bit of intro music or anything like that, let me know in the comments, or hit me up in message, or however else you can get me. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video and keep continuing to listen. Thanks.